washing the pits. Indeed, this is Mother Nature at her worst, absolutely drowning this Ionia Pass motocross facility, which is the host site of this Maxxis General GNCC in Washington, Georgia. You're seeing the morning for our afternoon event. In fact, they've decided to shorten the race time up. Going to go a little over 2 hours today instead of the traditional 3-hour GNCC length. I don't think any of these top riders, even them, as skilled as they are going to complain about that. Jordan Ashburn not happy at all. Here's Caleb Russell, although what's funny is Russell has actually said he was hoping for it to rain today. The defending series, and he knows today could be the day that other riders have problems and he gets some points back. He'll take his own chances in the mud. Apparently he likes these odds. There's our man Ricky Towery signaling the blue flag. Turn the engines off. We'll get the dead engine start fired up here at the Maxxis General GNCC. I'm Jason Wygant here to give you the race call. I'll do my best just to identify who is who because these machines are going to be covered once we go racing. Well, no surprise, it's going to be Paul Whibley on that Ampro NFAB Yamaha getting the start, but look at his teammate. No, that's not his team, Whibley. Now, Whibley is usually the whole shot master. That is more critical than ever in a mud race like this, because these riders are going to be getting covered with roost. So Strang, the aggressor, taking the lead early from Wibbs, and we'll see what the Australian, former GNCC Series champ, can do. Man, he is already getting away. I do see Ashburn in the number 7 Yamaha up there as well. So, as always, good starts for the YZ. Strang continues to lead in the field. Oh, this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. It is seat deep, and this is before we even get to the woods where it's going to get probably even more nasty. Not a lot of elevation change on this course. That means the water can just sit here in these pools. I did see Charlie Mullins, your winner of the opener, get through around 4th. I think that's Chris Bach making moves. There he is on the Honda on the right side of the screen. And I'll put out a guess. That's Takeshi Koikita out of Japan with him. They're battling to get inside the top 5. Strang, Whibley, Ashburn. A lot of times we'll run the slow-mo replay of a really gnarly section out on the track, but today the start's so critical that we decided to highlight that because you look at the difference. Strang out front, starting to get away. Whibley and Ashburn have been fighting. It looks like it's Mullins, Russell in the hunt as well. But the bottom line is Strang's totally clean, or relatively clean, I should say, compared to the rest of the guys. And how about Bach here, the number 3, that factory-backed Honda? I'll tell you that Johnny Campbell Racing Team, what a rude awakening. Veterans of racing in Baja, and now back-to-back mudders here in the woods in the east. That's Stuart Baylor making a move on his KTM around Jason Thomas, who momentarily got stuck. Those guys used to battle in XC2, now they're XC1 riders. Nick Davis on the Suzuki coming through next. On the downhill we go. I think this is Thad Duvall, who's dropped back a little bit. Now, Duvall, normally a killer in the mud races. He must have been a mistake early. Now, in hot pursuit of him is your XC2 leader, Rory Mead, who has Shane Hufford, who you remember grabbing the whole shot in that division right behind him here. And it's Takeshi Koikita on the Honda coming through. And now, Trent Baylor, defending XC2 champ. He's got some work to do here in the mud. If it stops raining as we go back to Strang leading XC1, this mud will dry out and then it will get so tacky it will just stick to the machines and the goggles. It'll make the bikes a lot heavier. And traction-wise, it'll be slippery anyway. Look at Ashburn going to the inside there, making the move on his teammate Whibley for 2nd. And it looks like Mullins has gotten around DeLong, and he's got Russell right with him. So that's pretty close. Your top 6 now it's Thad Duvall on the Morgantown Power Sports machine, the Honda, followed by the Johnny Campbell Racing Honda of Bach. Although I think the water might be so deep here that we might be reaching a point where they just can't deal with it. You can obviously ride a dirt bike pretty darn deep through water. The airbox is usually up around the seat. With the Yamahas, it's up even higher around the steering head. But you can get to a point, I guess, where they're just too deep, too much water, and they would prefer for it to stop. Still grinding their way through the muck, it looks like Paul Whibley has now taken the lead in this Maxxis General GNCC Round 2. Oh, there's Charlie Mullins in 2nd, stuck. Just gets going in front of Josh Strang. You've got Ashburn and Russell still right there. So your top 5, they were close when we went to break. They remained that way. But Whibley, runner-up at our opener a week ago, would love to win this one and get the series points lead. And you got some Yamaha people on the side telling all the riders to stay inside. And I guess Whibley did not pit at all. A lot of times they'll go with a pit every lap strategy in these mudders. Often at a GNCC, you really only need to pit once for a full gas stop and maybe a second time for a little splash of gas. But here you're going to stop often for goggles and gloves all the way around. Not the case for Whibley, but look at Strang back in front of these boys and into the number 2 spot. So he is not giving up. And Bach staying close now. Got the Rockstar Energy JCR Honda right back in the mix. And the other reason you don't really have to plan the passes and really attack guys the same way in these mud races is because they'll make mistakes for you and allow you to get back into it. I'm sure that's what Duval back here is hoping for. Like we said, normally a mud master, he's riding the 254 stroke, which in these mudders sometimes is, I would say, less of a disadvantage than it is on other days where power is at a premium. Here, the nimbleness in the ruts and being able to pull the bike in and out of the mud. Hey, if any of you folks watched our ATV show here from Georgia the other day, this was a nice little double jump. As you see Roy Mead getting over right now, it's really just 2 mounds with a little bit of air nowadays. And I believe the rain is coming back down. And look at how deep the water coming through in the number 1 in the XC2 division, battling with Mead. This is another area that was, well, A, completely dry, and second, this mulch pile actually formed up to be a whoop section. We'll see what it looks like now that it's raining today. Totally different on ATV day. A little bit whooped out. As you see, Mullins and Russell are still battling amongst some lapped riders for 2nd and 3rd. Woo, be careful through there. That is slick. Looks like Strang has lost a little bit of ground. And that's what I'm talking about. Again, it's just going to be up and down all day today. You don't have to make the passes on the riders. Everyone is going to have their share of getting stuck, stalling the machine, and they just hope that they don't combine it all together. You don't want to crash into one of these deep water holes. That could be the end of your day. And I believe that's Mead still there leading the XC2 division, and there's Baylor right behind him. 52 strokes in the XC2 division. When it gets really nasty like this, the old school 2-stroke, a lot of riders still like it. Especially if it stops raining and the course gets sticky, and then it's more of a slot car race through the ruts. 2-strokes are a little bit easier to handle in those conditions. And Rory Mead, by the way, he is a master tactician in the really rocky, gnarly, difficult events. He is good. We'll see if that can translate over here to the mud. Maybe the XC2 riders can make a run for the overall, but right now it sure looks like, no, it doesn't look like that. I thought the XC1 riders had a nice solid lead, but it looks like Grant Baylor has just passed his brother Stewart, who started on row 1 of X. So they have 1 minute of time adjustment. Was that Russell that just came by in the lead with Mullins behind him? It's going to be difficult. We have 2 classes mixing it up now, and of course all the numbers are covered. That's Ashburn. You can tell the long, lanky frame of him. That is Mead. Mead's got the yellow handguards, and Whibley has dropped back. So yes, Caleb Russell into the lead. That's story number 1. But Mead and Stuart Baylor from row 2 making a run. That'll be the case, though, if this keeps up all year long. Looks like Russell now headed for some daylight and perhaps a pressure wash. He has got the physical overall lead, and he's going to take the checkered flag first. Look at how deep those ruts are. But the question will be, yeah, he's looking around. He is wondering if he has to wrestle just to get the bike off from row 1, but then Russell got going. He knew he needed to score maximum points today to make up for a rough go of it at the opener in Florida. He came from behind. He made the moves late. The last 2 laps were good for him. There is Grant Baylor, still a solid run